Hola amigas, ¿cómo están? Welcome to ¿Quién es la Más? A podcast dedicated to recapping the Mexican competition series La Más Draga.
Which is available on YouTube.
My name is Yiyi,
And I'm Braulio.
and this is episode 2, right?
Episode 2 of La Más Draga, but episode
3.
3 for us,
Yeah, I think so.
since we did the Meet the Queens.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to be, for the podcast to go on for so long, because last time we recorded for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
And it was less than the episode. I mean,
It's way less.
we had already taken 9 minutes out of that episode, episode 1, and we still recorded for a pretty long time.
Yeah, we just did the Meet the Queens, which was like
The first 9
the
minutes.
beginning, and then we did the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys like this, the fact that they're so long. I like being very, thorough.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to a lot of other podcasts, and they talk about, podcasts that recap either a show that I watch or even just a drag show. And when they talk about the queens, they'll like just mention, oh yeah, I like her outfit. It was cute. And then they just move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I mean, because if we describe a little bit of what they're wearing or what their makeup is like, then the listeners can actually like picture what we saw during the episode. That way they have a mental image as we're talking about them instead of just giving them our opinions without them knowing what it looks like.
Yeah, I think we have to get a little bit better at that. We do a really great job, but I noticed that we haven't been describing the outfits, which I don't know if we should. We describe them, but we don't like go like detail.
Yeah.
Oh, she's wearing like a dress, and so maybe we can do that today.
We can try.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of that is because we're looking at the images,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're like, okay, so we see them, but again, for the listeners,
Yeah, for you guys, so you guys can know what we're talking about. I also thought about making like an Instagram account for the podcast, and then putting the pictures on there so you guys can follow along
that'd be
about
cool.
what we're saying. You think that would work? Maybe, right?
Yeah, so they can see what we're seeing.
Yeah.
The images that we were using.
Yes. Okay, so I guess we're gonna get started. In the dressing room, Johnny Carmona walks in and introduces this week's challenge. The queens are to create a look inspired by quinceañeras while staying true to their own drag. The winner will be declared La Más Quinceañera.
So for those who don't know, a quinceañera is basically like a fiesta / dance / celebration of womanhood, new womanhood. So the way Johnny described it, it actually originated from France in the 19th century, towards the end of it. So it's basically girls who are 14 to 15 years of age, and they're like presenting themselves to society as, I am ready for marriage.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't seem like at that age you would be, but I mean, I guess that
Back
was...
then it was.
That was society. And so he talks about how the president at that time in Mexico was Porfirio Diaz. So he was known to import French traditions into Mexico.
Yeah.
And that's when he introduced like the quinceañera, or I mean the
That
quinceañera tradition.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I did a little bit of research on quinceañeras because I wanted to know what he was talking about, and I didn't really find anything about the fact that he was talking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be true. I just didn't find anything that anybody else wrote about. I did find that it either comes from Spanish tradition or even Aztec traditions. And it involves like Catholic, because I guess just like through the years we incorporated like the
Religion.
Catholic church, and yeah, but it goes back. Supposedly, some people say it's back to like the Aztec.
Wow.
So, I mean,
so it's even older than than that.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
else did you?
I was just gonna say, and it still lives on to this day.
I know. Oh my gosh, yeah. We've been to some, right?
I've been to a couple.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't remember them really well, but I know that we did for sure.
yeah.
None of our like closest like primos or
Relatives. Yeah.
primas, not primos, because they don't have quinceañeras,
Well, they can be chambelans.
but they can be chambelanes. I was never asked to be a chambelan in my life.
Me
Uh,
either. I think I'm okay with it though.
yeah, I don't know if I should be offended or not, but I'm okay. But because none of our like closest like primas or nobody that we knew from our immediate family
Mm-mm.
had a quinceañera, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if maybe our family just didn't have the money to pull out this whole, because it's a big, expensive, almost wedding-like event.
Yeah. Well,
so-
it's like kind of equal to the Sweet 16.
yeah.
So if you guys have ever seen or had a Sweet 16, it's that, but with a little bit more of like a traditional.
Because there's a, like traditional dance that they do, and a whole dance routine. So I mean, there's a lot involved.
They even have, which I didn't know, but this thing called La Última Muñeca, or it's called the Last Doll, which is this doll that's pretty much dressed as the girl, and it's supposed to represent her last year or her last time as a girl. So she presents that to her younger sister, or if she doesn't have a younger sister, maybe her little brother, or if she doesn't have a little brother, then I don't know what she does with it, but something happens to the doll. Maybe that's where Annabelle came from.
Oh no.
But I also read that there's been this resurgence, or not resurgence, but there's been people who don't have daughters, and they still celebrate quinceañeras. They throw quinceañeras
For their
their sons. And I think they're called quinceañeros or something. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I saw some
It
videos.
is.
It was like, it was kind of corny, but
I mean, I think that's the main thing. They're always corny, but
uh-huh.
it's in tradition, so it's actually taken seriously, and it's I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, a very big deal. Sometimes like too much of a big deal.
So you say you saw videos of, and I guess the male versions of.
Yeah, it was just kind of
quinceañeras,
like just the dances that they were doing.
and they were still like dancing with, I guess, the girls would be the chambelanes.
Yeah,
this time,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's cool,
It
though.
was kind of like the reverse, but they didn't have like the last doll. They wouldn't have that.
They don't have a G.I. Joe doll that they.
No. No, but
Passed down.
I think everything else was pretty much the same. It was more like a party. It was more like a Sweet
Yeah.
16, because what I saw didn't really have like that traditional or like religion aspect to it. So I think it's just a party.
But it's nice that it's opened up to males. Who, I mean, if someone's son wants to be involved in that, then.
Yeah, I mean, it's a way for, like I said, like families who don't have daughters to kind of still get that kind of sense of tradition, I guess. We have a younger sister, but I don't believe she's gonna have quinceañera.
I don't think she would want it, and I don't think my parents would want it either. It's just-
No.
they
One,
have-
we weren't raised Catholic,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't do it because of that aspect. But then also, well, I mean, she's had bigger parties than we've had as
Yeah.
kids.
I think so.
But even then, they're just like at Chuck E. Cheese, you know, and that's maybe like a couple $100 compared to like thousands when you do a quinceañera.
The dress, the food, all the time that's involved.
The
with the
venue,
planning, venue,
like all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive.
Okay, so they also mentioned, they mentioned that they were shocked. The other queens were shocked that no one went home, which, I mean, obviously they would be shocked about it if you didn't see it coming. Did you have anything on that?
I think it's specifically Cordelia was the one that was not happy that no one went home. The rest of them were like, okay, I mean,
Cordelia was the winner, right?
yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't even. That makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe
That's why.
that's why she was happy, because she was saved. So
Yes.
obviously, if you're saved, you're gonna be like, oh, somebody should have gone home.
Yeah. To
And
eliminate the rest.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, that first few minutes was just an introduction of, or a recap of the last episode, and
yeah. To help the girls with their runway presence, Johnny enlists the help of the runway coach slash eye candy for the queens, Pedro. So I guess we should move on to like the part where they were doing the runway
yes.
with Pedro. What did you have on that?
So, I mean, the main purpose of having Pedro come in was because their criticism that the judges gave them the last episode was that they noticed that they were pretty nervous throughout the whole thing. And that was a criticism that they got from every single one of the judges. So they brought in Pedro in order to help them shake that off and hopefully become more confident in themselves and their drag. With the stage it's being recorded in front of the cameras and all that. So I mean, and it's a lot to take in for the first time. So
I did think, I don't know, the girls were like really thirsty for him.
definitely,
But I think he looked like one of my tios. Like, I was like, okay.
the bigote,
The
mustache.
bigote, yeah. Even though I'm rocking a mustache right now. But yeah, he looked like my tío. And I guess if you're into that, that's fine.
They kept commenting on that, and I was like, maybe they'll be distracted by the papi is what Debra mentioned.
She was so thirsty.
She was.
I did write that he was kind and helpful to the queens.
Definitely.
And one thing that a lot of people have noticed about Drag Race is when
they bring someone in.
Yeah, they bring someone in to teach them. They're usually kind of rude, or not rude, but they have an attitude.
Well, I mean, they're tough. They're tough with them. They don't put their comments lightly. And
they know that they're making a TV show and they want to add to the drama, which I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the producers actually told them, like, can you be a little bit harder on the girls or just be a little bit more blunt just so you get that camera time?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did write that he was kind and helpful.
Definitely. I think he had pointers for each one of them to improve their runway.
I mean, that runway, if you guys are not watching it, that runway is like, it's like the size of 2 Amazon Prime boxes put together. It is so small. Then when one of the queen was doing her runway walk, the other girl was standing on the other side, and then Pedro was on the other side, and I was like, there's no space to go.
Yeah, they could only have 3 people at the same time up there. And as they were practicing, they just got in each other's way because of that. And so some of the queens were a lot more like fluid with their hands, and that kind of got in the way with having the other 2 people up there.
Because they couldn't really play around as much because you're gonna hit somebody. So,
which maybe they would want to, so they can eliminate one of someone from the competition.
But I wouldn't think that was the right call for the producers to make, because it didn't even add anything. Like, why was the queen there? She wasn't even like cheering her on or anything. I mean, I
guess they were observing, and you can. It's good to observe other people to learn from them, but I think it would have made more sense because like in Drag Race, how they have. They do that, and when they're teaching them, but they have them like off the stage, sitting down.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
So they give the queen the moment to do their thing.
And even they have a bigger stage, and they still do that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a budget issue that they have such a small.
Maybe a budget and just like camera angle, like the space, because they can't put her anywhere else because she'll be out of the frame or something. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a small place overall where they're recording. So. But yeah, I mean, I wish they had a bigger stage, definitely. And that you see that they need a bigger stage in the lip syncs and the challenges. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it does hinder the performer, even though they're trying to provide a space where they can show off their art. It is gonna hinder someone when you just give them like 2 boxes to stand on. Did anybody stand out for you? Any other queens, or like did anybody seem like nervous? Or I think Barbara Durango got really good notes, didn't she? Like she got really good notes from him. I think she was one of the ones that was like
her and
really
Deborah
good.
La Grande. They got good notes. I think Margaret Yiyi got good notes as well. I think again, like the main thing is he was just trying to boost their confidence and give them as many pointers as he could in order to help them for the actual challenge.
Yeah, he was telling them to like kind of slow down. Some of the queens are kind of rushing it, and he was just like, take your time, compose yourself, you know, elongate your neck. And I mean, like, great pointers. Sometimes you do forget these things when you're on stage because you're just like nerves take over. So I guess that's why some of the queens, you know, suffered last week. All right, so let's move on. Backstage, it is revealed that Barbara and Margaret have a past conflict that hasn't been resolved. So they both have something that happened between them. They don't really say specifics. I don't know if you got any specifics from the story that they were saying or any kind of hint.
I think Deborah La Grande is the one who brought it up, and I don't know, she's just trying to stir some drama there. But apparently it extends from when Margaret started dating
Margaret. That, when you say it in English, it sounds like an old lady name.
It does.
Margaret. But Margaret doesn't sound as... Okay, so...
But Margaret started dating another drag queen, Guajardo.
She started dating? I thought she was just hanging out.
No, they were dating. I mean, that's what I got from it. They were dating. They didn't like specify, but it sounded like they were, yeah.
Okay, one thing to note about Guajardo is that she is actually going to be on season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So,
So they're gonna bring him.
Yeah, they're gonna bring him in.
So yeah. So when she started dating him, she kind of distanced herself from her other friends, her drag friends, and one of the main ones she was really close with, Barbara Durango, and she was one of the main ones that felt the distance. But Margaret explains that she kind of distanced herself because Barbara was being very critical and judgmental about, I think, just her drag in general, and probably, I assume, the relationship as well. So Margaret just wanted to have some peace and space. And
to me, it sounded like something actually happened, but they didn't want to like discuss because they knew that they were being filmed, and I guess they didn't want to make Barbara look bad or something, because the fact that Barbara looked really upset and she almost looked like she was tearing up, and I just think that something like it had to be something like an event that happened between, or some kind of fight.
Probably.
Not a physical fight, but just
verbally.
Yeah. And to me, that's just, it seemed like they were trying to hide something. Like they were trying to like talk around the problem or about the real issue. But I did get all the stuff that you said.
They didn't talk about event or anything that happened, but like they talked about their emotions and how they felt when this happened, when they distanced themselves from each other. But Barbara does admit that she does tend to be negative and toxic, and
yeah, which is, I was surprised to hear that, because she seems like so kind and like
mature as well,
mature and just like even reserved. Like she's not out there.
You gotta watch out for the quiet ones.
I guess that is true in this case, because I was surprised when she said that. I was like, wow. And she's like she's a little queen, like she's like small, and Margaret is a big girl. So it must take some kind of bite to scare away somebody, that's that stature.
But I'm glad Barbara admitted her mistakes, and she did apologize. I don't know if she apologized before the show or anything, but she said she apologized during this episode, and their friendship. I mean, it seems like it's good for the moment. Probably still not in the best state that it was prior to whatever happened, but they're moving forward together.
Do you think any of this was just for the cameras, like for them to make up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reality show. I tend to think it's all just either maybe not made up, but they make it a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they were just scurrying along the problem, because maybe it wasn't even that crazy, and they were just like trying to make it bigger than it was. But again, Barba did kind of get like emotional,
and she was the one that was involved in the drama that she was trying to start in the last episode too. So
when
so far she's been like the middle of when someone sat in her space. She's in the middle of all that, I guess. But
well, this is what happens when you cast people who know each other. I think they are not willing. Well, like all the issues that they have, they're already like
they got past it
in their personal lives. They've already kind of either passed them, or they can talk about them outside the show because they know they're gonna see each other. So that's kind of one of the, I guess, downfalls, that you don't see or you don't get the authenticity from the queens, where they can really go in and say, well, she did this to me and this is why I'm mad at her, instead of trying to like spare her feelings or not make her look as bad as she would if she would tell the truth. But I mean, that's the producer's fault. They wanted, I mean, I guess getting everybody from the same area in Mexico City makes sense for the filming, because that way they don't have to bring anybody in from other places. So I mean, I guess for the first season it's fine, but yeah, they didn't really talk about that much stuff. I think that's pretty much the only thing they talked about.
That was it.
It was just Margaret, and
after that they just moved on.
Yeah.
So I think we should move on.
Let's move on. Okay, before we go on to the looks, can we just talk about the mess that is the production? They literally, like, Letal has a place in the judges area, but it's like just a chair in between all of them.
Veneno just like
they forgot to introduce him last
episode. Yes, and Lorena mentions that though. So I think the first episode, again, it's just like a pilot, so they're just trying to make it up as it goes, and a lot of things change from last episode to this episode.
Yes.
You mentioned last time that the judging was going to change, and which it did. They don't talk about the point system anymore. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they don't talk about the point system. And this, what you said, so Letal comes into the actual space of the judges and sits in between them on a stool, and
it was very kind of like last minute, like, oh shit, we forgot to do this.
Yes.
Or they kind of noticed that Letal would make a good judge, because kind of the other judges, I mean, they're good, but I think she's the one that is more willing to critique.
Yeah, she's more critical.
Yeah,
definitely.
So I think that's why they noticed, like, oh, maybe we should have her on the stage. And so they just placed a chair. They just pulled up a chair from somewhere, IKEA or something. But that's what they did all last minute. And then the poor guy didn't even get introduced till this episode.
Yeah,
and
doesn't say a word though.
No.
Again, another eye candy. He's just there for that, I guess, and to carry the chair. When Letal was like, I don't know if she snapped her fingers at him or something, but basically saying, take me over there to where the judges are. I thought he was going to pick her up, but no, he just picked up the chair.
Yeah, he dragged the chair. He was like, fuck this, I'm not going to carry this bitch. But I think they had to have Lorena actually put a spotlight on these things, because if not, it would have just been weird.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden she's gonna be in the judges table, like no.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they get their stuff together in the next episodes, but I think it kind of adds to the charm of the show, because it's like, it's kind of a mess production wise. I mean,
yeah, and I do appreciate them actually trying to make it better, instead of just being like, oh, okay, whatever.
let's just keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're trying to improve it as they go.
Yeah, because I don't know if I told you this, or I don't know if I told you guys this either. They actually, I want to say they filmed it live. Okay, I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
I think as it was airing, like they would put him out, so they would film the first episode and then they would edit it and put it out, and then that's the way they did the season. I think I might be wrong about that, because that would make sense why they were moving things around, since if they put it out on YouTube, they get immediate response, and then for the next episode they can actually improve it or make some changes.
Yeah.
I don't know, they must have found out somehow, or just like watch the episode back themselves, and then been like, we need to like fix this or something. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I noticed, that they were just making a lot of changes. Okay, so vamos a la pasarela. So now we're gonna do the runway, which we're gonna go queen by queen. And let's see, do you have the queens?
First we have Eva Blunt, and her quinceañera theme is basically flowers.
So she's wearing like a crown of flowers that are orange, would you say? Or like red, orange?
It's like red, orange, yellow.
Yeah, and then
those are her colors for this.
And she's wearing a fitted top with like a keyhole cut out in the center, like in her stomach, and it's yellow. It's I guess it's off the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then for her skirt, it just goes into like this tulle that is see-through, but underneath you can see all the other I don't know what that's called, but it just makes it look bigger. Like it's like all the extra layers to make it look
It has a lot
bigger.
of volume.
Yeah, it has a lot of volume. So it's like this sheer tulle fabric that, is it orange? It's kind of a gradient of like orange to yellow, and it has orange flowers pasted on them. And
all over the dress, just like that match her crown.
Yeah, and then she's wearing light brown straight hair. And she's carrying a book that is part of her presentation. So, yeah. So what did you think?
Automatically, as soon as I saw her, I didn't think quinceañera at all. I was thinking more like she seemed like she was at the red carpet for an award show or something, and she just wanted to make a splash with what she was wearing. But quinceañera, it did not look to me at all. I liked the prop, the little book that she had.
What was it?
It was a pop-up book, and on the cover, pretty sure it had like Roman numeral 15.
I noticed
and
that.
Then her name, Eva, on it as well. And then when she gets on the runway, she opens it up, and
I thought it was
a flower again.
Yeah, to me it was. I was like, is she trying to say like it's a vagina?
I know it did look like a
because it was kind of in that. She opened it up in that area.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So I
did notice that she put it like down, like she's blooming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it goes with the theme.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, okay. I mean, it makes sense to me.
It does, but I don't think what she was wearing looks traditional quinceañera at all. And I mean, it looks like Eva, but it doesn't look like a quinceañera. It
looks more tropical.
Because of all the flowers and the colors that she's using.
The colors are very tropical. I think if she would have worn a tiara, it might have helped a little bit more instead of a crown, because that's a little bit more traditional.
That and like the keyhole and all that. It's just you're 15 years old. You can't be wearing something that revealing, or you shouldn't. And I don't think the top goes with the dress either. They look like two
No,
separate
yeah.
things. The top looks more like a bathing suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it is, and she just pulled the skirt over
I'm thinking
it.
that's what
But
she did.
yeah,
She's like that one girl that she gets a theme and then she makes everything slutty. Like the theme today
yes,
is,
slutty
dressing gown.
quinceañera.
Yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go as a slutty quinceañera.
I can see that, yeah. And I don't like the hair either. It's not quinceañera. Usually with quinceañera, it's all made up, and curly and up in.
It's an updo.
Yeah.
It should have been an updo.
And this is just straight plain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she looks cute, but it doesn't look like what the theme was. So I think she missed the mark on it.
Yeah, I think the sheer fabric, to me, it looks like a mistake almost because it doesn't make sense to me because you can see the layers under it, and I think I would have liked it better if it would have been all just if it wouldn't have been sheer, and you couldn't see those layers under that fabric because it does look like a bit of a mistake.
It kind of reveals the magic of what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to give you that volume, but you're seeing how it's happening because you can see through it. But
Yes, and I did put that I did like her presentation, which I appreciate the little book, and her walk was pretty good, and the makeup looks nice. It looks clean. She's wearing a red lip, I think. But I agree with the note that you gave about the hair. It should have been an updo for sure.
yeah, it goes with the makeup, but it does not go with. Yeah, it just doesn't look like a 15-year-old.
No, it doesn't look quince, so I think she failed. Let's move on to the next girl. Who is next?
Our next girl is Lana, and I'm thinking, what happened? What happened to Baby Jane? Well, Lana's wearing a. It looks like a bonnet on her head, and her hair is curly red. Dress. Traditional quinceañera. Well, it looks more like doll-like. So like one of those porcelain doll dresses. She's wearing long gloves as well.
And it's all white.
It's all white. I don't. Maybe it's the lighting. It kind of looked like there was some pink in there, but
Yeah, the lighting's pretty weird because it does add
some
like
hues.
either purple and pink.
But yeah, I think it's probably all white.
Can we talk about first like the makeup? Did you like the makeup? Because that's the biggest, most noticeable. I think that was the center focus of her look.
I did not like the makeup. It looked too busy and too heavy, and it obscured all her features to me. And
I knew what she was going for because I've seen multiple queens on Instagram do it, and they do it really, really well. Some of them, and this was just not. It just looked like she got hit on the face.
No.
By like one of her sheep.
She does look like Little Bo Peep.
Yeah.
But yeah, or whatever happened to Baby Jane, like I said. But I do like that she was wearing braces. So to me, like that's the only thing that looks quinceañera.
The braces.
The braces, because it makes her look like a teenager. But everything else, she looks like a baby, like much younger than that. It doesn't go with the theme at all to me.
The dress could have been quinceañera, but the styling kind of threw it off.
Yes, paired with the hair, the curly hair, it doesn't.
And then, it doesn't even hit the floor. Like it should hit the floor. If you're gonna wear a long dress, it should hit the floor. And I wrote that at this point, I don't really know what her drag aesthetic is because this look kind of threw me off. And I'm all for like trying new things, but this was so far from what she did last week that I'm just like, wait, okay, I don't know who Lana is. Because remember when she first came in, she had that blonde hair, scary face. She had that plaid shirt with the red jumpsuit. And this is just another girl. This is some other girl.
Yes.
This is not the same girl.
And speaking of, like, I don't see any Lana in this, so you would think she would somehow incorporate lana in there, the material, I mean.
That's true, yeah.
So, yes.
Wait, wool, does that come from sheep?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that's where she was going?
That's a stretch, but it's possible. And we
'Cause
don't get explanations for any of this.
I know.
So they don't talk about what their intention was. Later on, we do get one of them explain it, but Lana didn't get a chance to, or they didn't show us that. So I mean, it's possible, but
Yeah,
that's a lot of connections there.
I just like solved a conspiracy or something. Or started a conspiracy.
For your average person, I don't think we'd be able to figure all that out.
So what else did you have? What other notes did you have for this look?
I was thinking Raggedy Ann doll.
Definitely
The
raggedy.
hair and no, the hair and the dress. It just, yeah.
Yeah, she could have also worked the runway better, even though she got lessons.
Yeah, and she was the one that was having a hard time when they were giving them pointers. So
That's right.
I don't know
She
how much.
didn't improve.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Pedro.
Your magic didn't work.
She was probably too distracted by the mustache. Okay, so let's move on to the next queen. Who's the next queen?
Cordelia Durango is our next queen. And she's wearing a rainbow sherbet colored dress. Very tight fitting up top. It's like orange. I guess there's no green in there, but it's orange, purple, and that's all I see.
Pink.
Pink. So orange, purple, and pink.
Okay.
I don't know, it just made me think of an ice cream.
Now that you say it, yes.
But yeah, so it's tight fitting up top, and then it poofs out into. It's a very layered garment that she's wearing.
It's funny that you call it tight fitting because it didn't even buckle up. She couldn't even tie it from the back.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, she couldn't. Like you can tell when she's like leaving.
Yeah.
That it's not even tight in the back. It's like has a huge gap. But yeah, it's pretty color. And what else?
I think her hair is much like what she was wearing in episode 1. It's like off to one side, parted and like on one side there, and you could see black roots, but it's like dirty blonde color.
And she has a cake.
She does, yeah. She's holding a cake as she walks out to the runway. A little cupcake with, I guess, a mini her on
Yeah,
it.
it looked like one of those Disney princess. Anyways, what did you think of the look?
I thought it was too sophisticated for a quinceañera. Like, it looked like more like she was going to like a ball or something. Usually quinceañera is a little bit more cheesy, and the material doesn't seem like the traditional material that you would use for that.
I wrote that it did. To me, it did look very
Really?
quince. It looked very quince. It's just the shape of it. I can see why now that I'm thinking about it. I think it looks more prom actually than quinceañera. Something
Even
like,
that, like I don't know. It looks
because prom. I mean, quinceañera. You think more of like princess, like very even almost costumey in a way.
she looks more like a cake topping.
Oh yeah.
Which I guess maybe that's what she had, the cake in hand. And she's wearing the little heart on her cheek as well, again.
I did notice that.
Like and of course her beard, and she didn't do anything with her beard this time. Last time, because she was portraying an older character, she colored it in gray, and this time she just left it black, and it kind of stands out because of that. Just because she left it that way, it just makes it pop out more, which I don't think should be the purpose of it. But
I think she could have at least combed it, run a comb through it. I mean, do something. It just doesn't look like it was part of the look.
last time it did.
Last time it did. But
just because she colored it in. So, but she didn't do anything with it this time. Maybe she could have hung like a bow on it or something.
I mean, something would have. I mean, glitter, something to, step it up.
To me, that the hair is kind of a mess.
It looks a little frizzy,
Especially on a close up. I don't know, like the roots do not. If you look up close, there's something like pinching it there, and I don't think that it just doesn't look right.
I think that's the part.
But it looks like she has a hairpin or something.
It does look like it was.
She should put another bow. Let's put bows on there too. Her overall like runway, I think she did well as she was walking through it, and last time she won, so I don't think that was the problem, and I remember she got good notes on
she
runway
won
too. No, I mean like when Pedro was teaching them as well.
Oh, yeah, I think she did.
Yeah.
I wrote that I wish the dress didn't look like it was off the rack because it looks like it is off the rack. You can tell because she can't fit in it. So she didn't have this altered to her size. She didn't even have it made for like nothing. And that, I mean, I know that this is drag, and part of drag is kind of using old things and making a new look out of it. But if you're gonna go to a competition and you're gonna be filmed, like you gotta step it up. I know that it's not, a lot of people don't have the same resources, but girl, just do something. Get somebody that sews to like make it fit you or something, because it just, I mean, like you said, maybe add some other element to it. She could have had somebody sew some other stuff on it just to make it more her.
The judges, when they're critiquing later on, they ask Cordelia, they ask Lana and Eva where they got their dresses or how they got their dresses, and Cordelia actually, she says she borrowed it. Her and Lana borrowed it from someone, so you could tell, again, because of the size, and maybe that's why she couldn't add other things to it, because it's borrowed, so she can't really modify it to fit her or to fit the challenge.
That to me just shows somebody that's not willing to win, or like doesn't have that hunger to win. Because if you want to win, you're gonna do anything, no matter what it takes to at least complete a look and make it fit you.
But she did that last time though. She transformed a challenge into her, like, she colored her beard. She was portraying an older person, which was it was a challenge in it, because everyone else wants, they always want to be the pretty one. Yeah. So she did that last time, and I don't know what happened this time, and she just.
But you got to bring it every time.
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree. I'm just saying she definitely flubbed this one.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, the judges didn't like it. It's like you made a huge mistake and you knew about this mistake. You didn't try to fix it. You didn't even try to maybe ask a bigger friend of yours who has a dress. Why go to the friend that doesn't, their size, they're not going to fit you. Their dress is not going to fit you. So why even ask them for anything?
Yeah.
The nose is still distracting to me. The makeup on the nose.
Agree.
I did like the hair, but I do agree that it's a little messy. I like the shape of it and the way like it shapes her face, but it just needed some like hairspray or something. I don't know. She could have taken the look further, because it just kind of seemed like, oh, I'm gonna throw on this dress, and that's called it quinceañera, and that's not what you're here to do. You're here to bring your art, and where is that art? Where's that creativity? Anybody can just put on a dress and go out there. Maybe she could have like created a cape so they wouldn't notice the back. Something, make it more Cordelia or something. I did write that I liked the cake and that it was, unfortunately, the most exciting part of the look, even though it was the smallest cake I've ever seen.
I guess the little doll was a candle or something, because I think she had a lighter and she lit it up and then she blew out the candle. But
yeah, I'm surprised the fire alarm or something didn't go off in that room.
I mean, they barely have any other things. Maybe they don't even have a.
They just have a guy there just like ringing a bell or something.
Run out.
Anything else that you have for her? That's all I have for her.
No, I agree that she could have used a little bit more creativity in her look and just pushed it up further. But
Yeah, she like you said, she flubbed this one. All right, let's move on to the next queen. Who is it?
Our next queen is Margarita.
What is the look? Tell
The
us the
look.
look.
Her theme is pink, so everything her whole dress is pink. It's all made out of tulle basically, and it creates like layers, and it's kind of like a baby doll dress, but it like expands with tulle towards the bottom, so it's not short. And she's wearing like white long gloves, and she's carrying around like a laced umbrella. The hair is she has an updo with a little crown on there. She's blonde again, right? She's like, well, I think last time it was like white, like very icy
Yeah,
white.
yeah, it was that one white wig.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of it? I know she's your favorite.
She is my favorite.
So, what did you think of the look?
I love the look. It definitely gave me quinceañera.
Really?
It did, but through the way. Okay, so the way that I was interpreting it, and as we talked, about earlier, how it was, or the tradition started with France. That's what it kind of looked like to me. Like she was melding the older style with like the quinceañeras that we have now. For example, like the gloves and the umbrella she's carrying around. The fact that it's like short in the front and then long in the back. It's kind of like, I don't know, melding two different ideas, I guess, or like the past and the future.
So if somebody would ask you, like if somebody were to say, oh, this is, if you didn't know,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, this is supposed to be quinceañera. You'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
I'd say yes. And I think
Okay.
as an overall look, yes. And if you take into account her hair and her makeup, it definitely is. It's like, I think she's getting a little bit of everything. So she puts her signature in there as well. She's wearing the manga brows again. And then as she's walking like through the runway, she gives the Margaret attitude. Like she's acting like a brat, which to me, like the whole dress seems like that. Like it's a bratty quinceañera look.
Okay.
What do you think?
I said the dress swallows her up, but I like the color. I like the color. The powder pink. It's cute. I love that. But she has no waist.
There is a waist there.
No. The waist.
I mean, it's cinched. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it has like a
the limit does not exist. The waist does not exist. It's no. There is no waist. Like when she walks, it looks like she's like her stomach is coming out like ahead of her, and she doesn't have a big stomach.
I think that's like high fashion. It's not supposed to like show off her curves. She's playing a 15-year-old.
No. It just doesn't give me a waist.
Okay.
And I feel like it's kind of close to the thing that she did last time, like that same kind of flowy fabric, very voluminous. And she did also a train last week. So it's kind of close to the same silhouette. I did like the silhouette, but I just feel like it was kind of a repeated silhouette. The gloves, I like the gloves. They should have been lace though. They should have been lace gloves because it just looked off. And it's just kind of an aesthetic thing to me. Like
I can see that.
A lace glove would have just kind of elevated the look a little bit more. The hair looks good, but could have looked neater because it kind of looks like just a bunch of like, I don't even know. It looks
like it bundled up.
Yeah, like it just looks like it's just stacked curls on top of her head. Doesn't really have like an actual shape. So I don't get it. It almost looks like a mohawk in a way. And then she has this little tiny crown stuck in there. Like, if you're gonna do a tiara and have that big hair, like, do a bigger crown. And she walked well. I did like the attitude on the runway. Now that you reminded me that she said that she was a brat, I was like, okay, that was good. She did a good job. The makeup's still distracting. Just a little bit of editing, I think.
I love the makeup though. I think she looks really pretty there, and I think it is a little too much as far as like on the cheeks she put like lines on each cheek, and I just think it just because the eyebrows are so heavy already, and it just makes it look like too much. Like you said, she needs to edit.
Yeah, that's one of her biggest
But I love the
issues.
lip, and I think she looks beautiful.
Like, I'm looking at her face right now, close up, and just take some stuff off. It would have just opened her face up way more and made it even more beautiful. Because right now she's just kind of hiding behind all this. Like, there's a lot of black. There's a black eyeliner, black under eye, and these really graphic black eyebrows that it almost kind of, yeah, it just kind of closes her face. Like, it doesn't allow you to see her whole face.
I'm interested to see if she is going to stick to those manga brows, or if any of the judges' comments will affect her and end up changing them for future runways. But
I mean, it's one of the things that didn't they mention that?
yes, Letal mentions it.
Yeah.
Which I think they're always, it's going to be polarizing. Some people are going to like them and other people are not going to like them. I think Letal says that they're samey. Like, she keeps doing that, so she wants her to show other eyebrows, I guess.
Yeah, or
eyebrows
like that she has other skills.
Yeah.
Shows that she has versatility, not just the same look over and over again. Which right now, that's what she's giving. I don't hate the look. I know I've said that she has no waist, but that's just, I mean, if you look at a picture, I don't see a waist. If you can find
I
a
don't
waist.
think that's the point, but I guess agree to disagree.
Yeah, because I need at least a cinched waist or something to not make her look so. It would have just pulled everything in and made it look more put together. But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's it. Let's move on to the next queen.
Our next queen is Deborah La Grande. And would you like to describe what she's wearing?
Deborah is wearing a powder pink dress that it's like a bodice on the top, and once it gets to the waist, it kind of billows out into like not feathers, it's like ruffles, like white ruffles, and then on the trim it has like gold appliques, which I can't tell what the design is, but I think it's very like Baroque, it looks like to me.
Broke?
You can say that. And she's wearing like not full length gloves, but she's wearing like white. I guess they reach like her elbow almost. And a little crown, and her hair is very,
it's like pushed back, but like,
yeah, it's kind of weird to describe.
yeah,
It's kind of
it's like
bouffant?
like my aunt's hair.
Like, yeah, like somebody from the 80s that just teased her hair way too much.
It's teased and like pushed back, and
on top of it is like this little small crown. She's wearing glasses and teeth.
I'm waiting for it. Yeah.
That she drew on.
She drew on her lips.
Yeah, so that is the look. What did you think?
As she was walking out, I was thinking of Anaí in Primer Amor, which Primer Amor is like a remake of, I think it's, yeah, Quinceañera, which starred Thalia. And so maybe that's the reference there. But yeah, so that's what it was giving me. So immediately I thought, like, she hit the mark. It's Quinceañera, top to bottom. She threw in her own. I don't think that's her aesthetic though. Like with the glasses and the buck teeth, but I like that she gave it that twist, and that was part of her whole presentation where she does a reveal in a way. She throws away the glasses, and she was holding a teddy bear, so she throws a teddy bear and she takes off the glasses, and the buck teeth stay because it's her makeup.
Mm-hmm.
But she does like a little transformation of like, kind of like she's all that, oh, I take off my glasses and I'm pretty now. But that's her welcome into womanhood moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean I think she hits the mark. I don't like the hair, but I think it goes with the dress, and if you take everything into consideration, it looks good. I love the bottom of the dress, how it almost looks like cloud-like. It's very,
Yeah, it's very light and airy.
yeah. And when she was walking on the runway, like, flowed really well. So yeah, I really like that. And just overall, I like her look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was the dress looked really beautiful and intricate.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like just some dress that you can buy at any store, like Cordelia's.
Shade.
I mean, yeah, I really like that. I like the fact that it looked intricate, and it looks like it was kind of tailored to her. And it was, if it wasn't made for her, it was tailored to her at least.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the hair looks to me too old fashioned for this look.
Mm.
It's just very señora.
Yes, like I said, my aunt.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a quinceañera. Somebody that's 15 would want to look like that.
Yeah.
The makeup is cute, but again, she looks like a señora that's like trying to relive her quinceañera years.
Mm-hmm.
Her reveal was cool because it told a story of a girl becoming a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the point of a quinceañera,
Mm-hmm.
and she portrayed that through her runway, and I think that was really smart of her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just her just her walking down the runway. It's her actually telling a story, presenting her art, which maybe that's part of her art, is taking a concept and saying something through that, instead of just being like, okay, I'm just gonna be pretty. But
Which, I mean, it was a simple reveal, but without spoiling the other reveal that we have in this episode, I like this a lot better because it still stuck to the theme, and as you said, like, it tells the story of what a quinceañera is.
mm-hmm. And she did have, besides the teddy bear and the glasses being taken off, she had some unidentified white powder that she blew.
She did, yeah. Is that like some sort of symbol or some sort of metaphor verse?
I don't know. I just noticed that she just blew it, and I guess it added some kind of effect, like a dramatic effect to her.
Sure, I didn't.
Like magic, I guess. But I think you would do like glitter instead of white powder. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get the point of that.
It is Mexico, so maybe.
No. Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was at all, but the other stuff was cool.
I wish she could have worn teeth, like fake teeth,
Yeah.
instead of drawing them on.
From far away, it worked.
It did work. That's just one of my, like, I guess, preferences.
Yeah.
she should have just worn some fake teeth, just because it looks more real, and when she
Yeah.
smiles, it just works with the whole look.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I thought she did really great. I thought the dress was really nice. It actually looks like a quinceañera, which is the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, the makeup just looks a little bit too grown up. Like the cut cheeks are just like she should have softened it a little bit.
I mean, maybe that's the Deborah La Grande in there that we kind of saw, and that's how it came through in the makeup. Because other than that, like, and the hair, I guess. Because other than
Uh-huh.
that, it looks like what the challenge should be. So maybe that's the way she put in there. But not I still I agree that it just didn't fit the overall look.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next queen.
And next we have Barbara Durango. She is presenting, she's very fairy like. So she has turquoise colored wig, very flowy. It's kind of like straight at the top, and then it flows out into like onto her shoulders. Picture like a nightgown, a white nightgown is what I was thinking. And so it was kind of like not too tight at the top, but it expands out a little bit. Again, she's using tulle, but the dress does not go all the way to the bottom either. However, she does have a material under there that kind of hides the, I guess, what gives it the volume.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's wearing long white gloves as well, and she's holding a bouquet of blue flowers as well. On the back of her, she has like a frame, so she's ready for her quinceañera picture at all times.
Or for the altar, the drag
Oh
altar.
no! And so it's just stuck to her back as she's walking down the runway. And yeah, what are your opinions?
I wrote that I like the concept, but it doesn't give me quinceañera. It's yeah. If you would tell me this was a quinceañera challenge, I would not be. I wouldn't think that right away. But I like it, just not for this challenge. The dress and the colors are cute. I like the blue turquoise theme that she has, but she needed to make it fit the challenge. If she could have taken that and just made it fit, I mean, that would have been a home run. She always looks very pretty, so you can't really come for her for that. And her walk and presentation are way better, I think, that they were last time. She actually had kind of like a production in a way with the flowers, her bouquet, and then the thing on her back. And
The thing on her back.
that frame. And I think I like that it's a complete look. It looks like she thought about the details.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I wouldn't declare this a winner because it just doesn't give me quinceañera at all.
Mm-hmm.
But as an overall look, I like it. And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if they were going for a pretty challenge, like if it was all about that, she'd probably be the top, if not the winner. And I think in what she's wearing and in how she was dancing around on the runway, it was very fairy like. She was doing a lot of almost like ballet kind of dancing up there. She was just twirling, and so I mean, I like what she's wearing. I agree that does not look quinceañera. It looks to me more of like it's more like a nightgown kind of thing. It doesn't have volume really, especially compared to the other girls.
Didn't she describe her reference?
Yes, so later in the episode, when she's being judged, she says that she watched the movie Quinceañera, which I've never seen, but anyways, so she watched that movie, and in that movie, she says that the main character has a dream about how her quinceañera would be, and it's very like fantasy, And so it's like a dream sequence, and she took that reference from there. So it's not meant to be like a quinceañera,
Traditional.
yeah, how we would think of it. So immediately when she mentions that, like the judges were like, ah, okay, and
Yeah.
it all just came together, and which makes sense. You could see, I mean,
But to me, if you're making a reference, you need to be. You shouldn't be able. You shouldn't have to explain it.
yes, yes. It doesn't. It misses the mark as far as a challenge because that's not what the challenge was. I like that she gave it a twist though, but because of that, it stands to criticism that it just doesn't look like a quinceañera. But it does look very dreamlike, and it does. I think she hit what she was trying to achieve, but because she had to explain it, it loses that power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's all I had to say about her.
Yeah, I mean, she did. She did. Like I said, she had a good look. It's just wrong challenge to do it on.
Yeah, she was definitely. She wasn't one of my top as far as the challenge goes, but she was pretty. She did a good job in what she was trying to hit. So yeah, our last queen on this runway is Debra Men, and
I think it looks a little bit like it's very traditional, like prom gown. It's white bodice with a little bit of a flared skirt that doesn't hit the floor. It almost looks like it's satin. And again, another queen that's wearing, I think they're all wearing white gloves.
oh yeah, a lot
She's
of
wearing white gloves. Her hair is it's an updo.
It's like a beehive. It's like
Yeah, beehive. There you go. Like Amy Winehouse.
It's like Amy Winehouse. Well, Amy Winehouse came back from the dead and went to La Más Draga's runway.
Yeah,
just
it
for
looks
this challenge, and
it looks very like that. And she's not wearing a crown, but she's wearing stuff on her, like small flowers in her hair.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty basic. That's pretty. Oh, and then she has a reveal, and that reveal is a black bodysuit with fringe in the middle, and the bodysuit has like chevron, the sequins,
yeah.
and pink and silver, and they're going down the whole front of the bodysuit, and
Is that fringe that she has in
yeah,
like in the
she has
between her
black
legs,
fringe in
basically?
between her legs, and then pink fringe on the sides.
Yeah,
And then that's it. She's wearing a necklace.
it's
sparkly
very
necklace.
cabaret.
What did you think of it?
This is what I was trying to say earlier when Deborah La Grande did the reveal. Here with this reveal that Deborah Man has is, I don't know, it doesn't fit the theme at all to me, and like I said, it looks very cabaret. I think she should have stuck to that first look before the reveal, and it looked more like what the challenge was. If she would have stuck to that though, she would have needed to put something else, like some more flair to it, because it was a very simple silhouette.
Yeah, it was very basic.
But I like that versus I don't know what she's doing in the second one. I don't know why she's transforming into, I guess she's doing again the whole womanhood thing, but then she's just like jumping like 20-30 years here. It just no.
She's jumping into like a whole new person. Like it's not even the same thing.
It's not.
That's the same girl would wear. Yeah, and the dress doesn't hit the floor. The shoes are just bad. They're like, I think they're like booties or like strap like booties or something.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. It definitely doesn't fit the first look. I guess the second one just because of
that one sequence.
Yeah, that's how it matches it. But yeah, I mean, I did not like the reveal. I think she should have stuck with what she had at first. The makeup is very glittery. Her eyelids I think silver as well.
Yeah, her makeup looks nice.
Yeah, it looks like a 15-year-old makeup.
Yeah, because of the jewels and the
Yeah,
glitter.
yeah. So that fits the challenge, but it was not one of my favorites at all.
Yeah, I thought the makeup was, like I said, it was cute. Um, that bodysuit was just like busier. It was busy. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was just too busy.
and it's the way she executed it. It just looked like she has things like stuck on there. It doesn't look like part of. It just looks like a very crafty kind of dress. Even the fringe, it just looks like she stuck them off to the side, and especially the pink ones that are coming out, and it doesn't go with it.
Even though, okay, so Deborah Min is one of those queens that I love her personality, and the way that she came out was very like chola, like she said,
Oh yeah,
and I just love that. It just entertained me, and I
yeah,
laughed, and it was just like, it was fun, and she came out with confidence, even though, I mean, she was wearing trash, not trash, but like really something that I wouldn't respond to.
yeah.
But she came out with the confidence, and I think
That's what sold it.
that's what sold it. I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but she was selling it. Yeah, I love her as a personality. She's one of those queens that I'm not excited by her drag, which is sad because I would love to be in love with her drag as much as I am with her personality. And that happens a lot actually, even on Drag Race. Like a lot of the queens that are very popular, I'm like, oh, I love her personality, she's so funny, but then her drag is just like, she's not really doing.
She's not doing what you want her to do to
Yeah.
match that personality. So
Yeah.
the personality is like up top, and then what her execution in her drag is not matching up.
Yeah, like for me, even like Kennedy Davenport would be one of those, but she would be the opposite. Well, like I love her talent, and she like is an amazing performer, but then for her personality is like hilarious because she's just so like kind of over everything, but her actual like aesthetics are just they don't speak to me,
Yeah.
and I speak two languages, so I don't know what language that's she's speaking, but it doesn't speak to me. But yeah, Deborah Min is one of those queens, and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So her personality is cool, and the judges mentioned that too. They love that attitude that she gives on the runway. But yeah, it definitely was not my favorite. Just that reveal was not. It was not timed correctly to what the challenge was. But yeah, she was our last queen for the runway.
After the judges' critiques and deliberations, Margaret Yiyi is awarded La Más Quinceañera. Lana and Cordelia Durango land in the bottom two and have to lip sync to 3 songs: one, Quinceañera by Timbiriche, the second, Enferma de Amor by Jeans, and El Baile Sapito by Cómplices y Belinda. In the end, Cordelia Durango's life in the competition ends, but her memory will live on forever in the drag altar. Or altar. Altar? Avatar?
Altar.
Altar, yes. Okay, so right
And
now let's talk about everything that happened during the deliberations, the judges, critiques, the lip sync, and yeah, everything that happened between there.
So I think overall, every judge really liked what Margaret did. I mean, obviously, because they gave her the win. But as they were critiquing each of them, they were all praising her look.
Can we say who the judges? Obviously, we know who they are, but we had the guest judges. They are Jonas vloggers or Jonas.
Los Jonas vloggers, I think is that how they pronounce it.
Jonas vloggers.
I don't know who they were, but
They are YouTube
yeah.
bloggers.
Oh, that's a surprise. So it's three of them. I don't. Yeah.
So let's talk about the fact that the point system has changed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they don't talk about the point system at all. The way they score each queen is they go through each judge, and each judge gives their top queen and then their bottom queen.
Mm-hmm. You know, the problem about that is that, well, okay, first of all, I can tell that it's rigged because they obviously tell who, like, I think the producers tell, like, the judges, oh, pick this one and you pick this one, so that way they can be a tie, and that way they can do, like, they're obviously doing that because there's no way that it would play out the way that it did.
I mean, that's also in the editing too. Like when they present who they picked, they can put it in any order. That way, it seems more dramatic.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's not a great way to do it because you have two bottoms. So how are you gonna? What if everybody picks the same bottom? Who's gonna be the second one?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I mean, again,
Unless it's rigged like it is.
It's all done in the editing and
yeah,
the producing. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I just go with it. That's how reality shows are. So,
exactly.
It's expected. I mean, we want it to be more entertaining too. So
not only more entertaining, but I feel like it's not fair.
Well,
because
if it comes down to that, yes. Like if they're really like telling them this is who you're gonna pick because we think this one should be, then yeah. But if it's like they have their favorites and then they're just editing it differently just to make it dramatic, I think it's just.
But not that part. Yes, I agree. But no, I'm talking about the point system right now. It's not fair because, like I said, if you have one of the bottom girls and everybody chooses that person, how do you choose the second one? You only have an option of a top.
Oh yeah.
The winner and the loser. So
will that come up later on?
I don't know. I don't remember. But I think they should do a point system where every girl gets a point from 1 to 10. I mean, and then they add up those scores.
They were doing 1 to 5 last time. And again, they might be doing that. They're just showing us something different to make it less complicated. But
they don't explain it. So.
This time it worked out. This time they had... I guess let's go through who each judge chose. So Yari chose Barbara as her favorite, and her least favorite was Cordelia.
Cordelia Durango? Oh, the bearded queen.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then Johnny, his favorite was Margarita, and then least favorite Cordelia again. Mm-hmm. Letal this time gets a vote.
Yeah.
Letal loved Margaret as well, and then repeat Cordelia was least favorite. And then the Jonas vloggers' favorite was Margaret, and least favorite was Lana. After they spent some time like discussing it, they didn't want to name anyone, but they decided on Lana. And Lorena, finally, Margaret was at the top for her, and her least favorite she didn't mention. They just left it off and they moved on to the actual deliberation.
So how does it turn out that you have Cordelia? There was one that I was like, she should have been in the bottom. And I think she was. It was Cordelia.
Definitely Cordelia. I think she definitely needed to be at the bottom. And to me, Deborah Man should have been at the bottom instead of Lana, I would say.
No, I think for me it would have been, what's her name? The first one with the tropical thing, and Lana. Just because quinceañera, none of them, at least Deborah Man gave me some kind of quinceañera, and Eva Blunt, I didn't get nothing.
half of it.
And she gave something. And then Eva Blunt was just not quinceañera at all. I was like,
Yeah.
she was going to some kind of, tropical party.
But she tried, and then...
Well, they all tried. But
except for Cordelia. Like, she didn't seem like she tried at all. Again, she had that borrowed dress
that's true.
that she just put on, didn't do nothing with it.
Then, I'm not really mad at the bottom, actually.
Yeah.
I think
but
the winner...
It could have been... We could have had Eva there as well.
Yeah, it could have been between Eva or Lana.
Yeah.
They could have been interchangeable, but I think Cordelia had to be in the bottom, actually. Because, yeah, it was just basic and nothing. And it was uninspired.
Yeah.
And the winner, I guess out of all of them, I could have given it to Deborah. But I'm not mad about the winner.
I definitely
even
am
though
not
it didn't
mad
give
at the
me
winner.
quince.
It was high fashion quince. French 19th century quince. But yeah, I think I agreed with the bottom and the top either way. And then when we get to the lip sync, why 3 songs?
That was
too much, and it was like just a few seconds of each.
Mm-hmm.
It just made it harder, especially when you're switching from one song to the next. They were all like different kinds of songs, so it just didn't fit together, and it made it hard for them to be in one state of mind, like to portray whatever the emotion. Not that, none of those songs really had any emotional moments, but
are these songs that that they play at quinceañeras? Is that why they chose them?
probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
I assume so. But why would they do a medley? They should have just picked one. It was just very choppy, and I can see why they gave it to Lana, though. I think she was a little bit more animated during the... And she used the stage more. She was walking around as much as she could on that small stage. But
side to side.
yeah. But she had a little bit more personality than Cordelia showed. But it could have gone either way. I think it was... part of the problem was the music, too. Just... There's not much that they could do.
Oh, I was going to mention the fact that Cordelia was saying that she kind of gave up. That she kind of gave up because she was going against her drag daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like Lana knew that, because I think she was also saying that. Or she commented something about that. But I do remember Cordelia saying that she was talking to the audience, if you were somebody's mother or figure, what would you do?
Yeah, you would give anything for your daughter.
Yeah, so I think she just didn't give her all. And bye. If you're not there to win, then bye.
But it seemed like last challenge that she was, and I guess when it came down to it, maybe that relationship that she has with her drag daughter was a big piece of her, and she didn't want to attempt to take her down.
But it's I don't get it.
Like you said, it goes back to the pre-established relationships before they come into the show, so that's affecting the way they act.
Yeah, they're not as competitive because they all want to be nice to each other. Like, what? You don't have to be mean to be competitive. You just have to want it. Like, I'm not saying she should be like trying to sabotage or anything. Yeah. But I'm saying if you're gonna compete, then compete to win. Bring your best. That's actually more helpful in a way, because you're showing your drag daughter that you're somebody who takes her drag serious, and that is willing to push herself.
That in a way might have been more loving, like show her how all that work that she's put into it and all that experience she has, and set an example for the daughter. But she chose to sacrifice herself in a way.
Anything else that you want to bring up about the last part of the episode?
I guess the way we're closing out every episode is with whoever's eliminated, their photograph gets placed into the altar. So for Cordelia's photos, it gets put on the drag altar, and they show a lineup of the girls, a la top model, and her picture cutout just disappears. Yeah, and then it just ends there on a sappy note with the sacrifice that we just experienced.
I mean, finally, I guess somebody goes home.
And the one that was not happy that no one went home last time is the one that went home this time.
Yeah, she won and then she left.
Yeah.
The thing I was going to ask you is, do you feel like you got to know Cordelia? I feel like we didn't even still learn anything about her. Instead, like, just the fact that she's, like, the drag mother to Lana.
Yeah, I think that's it. And, I mean, when they're talking in the makeup room, they don't give them enough time to show much besides just bringing up fake drama or whatever you want to call it. You get to see a little bit of their personalities in the interviews, but again, they're just like small moments.
You don't get a sense of who she is.
Yeah.
And I think that's a main issue I have with the show, is that they don't show them. If they would show them create their looks, you would learn more about them. Mm-hmm. Or at least explaining their looks, you would learn more about them. Because, yeah, she got to stay another week, great, but for what? We didn't get to even learn anything more. You know?
Because it is a TV show, like, they can show us more, so they can edit together more about them in the storyline of the episode and show us what their intentions are as far as their looks, or show them telling us a little bit more about their backstories, and they're not doing that. I mean, the episodes are 45 minutes long, which is like standard for TV, and I don't know if they expand on that in the second season, but maybe just with more time they can put some of that. But
I don't remember.
Yeah, it definitely is missing then, and I think we've discussed that before too. That's something that's missing from each episode.
Yeah, they should definitely. Hopefully, I don't remember if they fixed it for season 2, or if they changed anything. It just seems like there's wasted time. I feel like they could put more into the show, and we're just getting like parts that are not as important.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the judging is too long. I don't know if something is like taking up too much time, where we can, take more time with the queens and learn more about them. But whatever. Anything else? I know you said, we were talking that you said that Lorena Herrera, she's like plugging all her music.
Yeah, they're RuPaul of her. She's plugging in her latest singles, I guess, and her videos. I think it was when they were introducing Veneno, and she's like, he's in my video for...
Is her song... Well, if you guys don't know, the song that plays during the runway is her song. And what would you say was called?
It's the video for Tócame. And she's like, it's on Lorena Herrera Vivo or something like that. Go watch it.
She's so like that character that it makes everything sexual.
Yeah.
Like, vamos a hacer esto. Ivan, whatever. And it's just
I
so
love
like
that.
that.
Like, I love how... I think she knows it, and she plays it up, and I don't know, it makes it more fun. I like her personality a lot.
One of the things that I was thinking about is that Mexican comedy and sense of humor is very irreverent. And you can see that some parts of it. I know that this show kind of is tailored, made for like the newer generation, which is more PC. But back, if you go like look at some of the shows that have aired, maybe that still air, but have aired in Mexico or just in like Univision or whatever, like the comedy is very irreverent. Like they make fun of everybody, anything. If you have a disability, they'll probably call you something. But
Yeah.
everybody in the culture gets it, and we get that we're joking, and it's just something that I think is very important to take note. And also it's unique about our culture because if you think about it, we in Spanish we can like literally make jokes about things that in America we would be like canceled or you know
To that point, like I noticed that they use the word joteria a lot,
uh-huh.
and growing up, like that was a like a curse word, or
Yeah.
it was viewed in a negative context. But they use it freely during the show, and they don't call each other that, but they use that. I guess in the Latin American gay community, they changed that word for their benefit, for their own use.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the F word,
Yeah,
and
well,
because
yeah,
a lot of gay people still use it as a form of um,
yeah, like,
expression. I guess I don't know.
hmm but I think how you were mentioning it, it's looked down upon. If you would use it, even if you're using it as a joke here, it's still frowned upon.
Well, you're always gonna
And
find somebody that's gonna be offended.
yeah, and I don't know if the F word carries the same weight as joteria does, but I was just surprised by how freely they use it and between each other.
Yeah, what I was getting at is more that is something that I did notice too, but like even like last week, and if you're American or not American, but if you don't speak Spanish, you probably won't get the what they're talking about. But even like the conversations between what was that lady's name, the last week's,
Susana Zabaleta.
yeah, her and Lorena were having banter back and forth, and they were
Mm-hmm.
being offensive to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But we, in Spanish, we get it that it's a joke. They were talking about each other's age, about how it doesn't fit, that wants to dress, but it's not gonna fit you, throwing shade.
But that's not. I mean, to me, that's not what I got from it. Like I was. It seemed like a lot like they were just copying or what Drag Race does, because the banter between the panelists and RuPaul and Michelle Visage. That's how it is, and so
Mm,
I didn't think about it the way you did, I guess.
yeah.
I just saw it as they were just trying to achieve the same effect as what they do there. Yeah. I mean,
No, I was just trying to take it in. I was trying to
yeah.
be like, oh, maybe it was just that, but I do think if I don't know, seeing two women do it to each other is not very common in I think well, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's something about it stood out to me that I was like, oh, they can joke around with each other and
Yeah.
it'd be fine and nobody's being offended,
Yeah.
you know? And if that was in English, it would maybe wouldn't read as well, or maybe it would still read. That's just, I don't know. It's something that stood out to me. But, anyways,
Speaking of the humor, like in Drag Race, they have during the runway, they have all these puns that they make, and here we don't get any commentary on that at all. We just see them walk the runway and do their thing, but we don't get any banter between the panelists, like any commentary, or even the queens presenting their ideas on what their runway is.
mm,
But I don't know if the concept of puns, it's really like a prevalent in like Latino
I
culture.
don't, I mean, not really. I don't, I mean, I could think there is a whole form of um, puns in Spanish. but I can't think of one like off my head.
Yeah,
It's not the main form of like comedy.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it is more like double entendres, especially like a dirty joke or something. But
Yes.
I can't think of like any like Latinx puns that I can think of at all.
No, I can't either. I guess it's just something that it's some the culture is different. Yeah. So I mean, I think I've got all my thoughts out. Anything else you want to add?
Mm-mm. No, yeah. I think we've said enough about everything. That was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Someone finally got eliminated.
Yeah. Which means we're getting closer.
So from 7 to 6.
Yeah. So there's maybe 4 episodes left. Wait.
It depends on how they do the finale, if how many queens are involved, and
Because there's the top 3, so it would be
okay.
like 3 more to go.
You're breaking my brain right now.
I think in total it's like 8 or 7 episodes. So we have like 5 more. 5? Maybe. I don't know. Anyways,
I'm not good at numbers.
Yeah. That is it for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Please leave a rating if you guys liked it. And what?
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, subscribe, or yeah, just mostly leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think. We want to really connect with you guys and see who's listening to this show. So yeah, so I guess it's time to plug our socials. You can find me on Instagram at Yiyi. That's Yiyi. And on there's a link to my YouTube channel where you can also check out some videos that I make recapping the lip syncs on Drag Race. And so what about you?
You can follow my retweets on Twitter at Hello Braulio, HELLOBRAULIO.
All right. Thank you guys. We love you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.